Welcome back, boys. In this episode, we're going to find an actual winner for the boat cover contest because the last time it didn't work out, so stay tuned for that. We're going to buy a brand new outboard, and I'm going to give you an update on the fleet and what's been going on this year, where there's progress being made, and where there's not progress being made. I want to say before we start that this video has been sponsored by Ecotric. This is a full suspension mountain bike that is an e-bike. I've been getting contacted by a bunch of companies that want to sponsor videos, and they want me to do a review, and I said, you know what, it's not boat related, I'm not doing it, but I will let you sponsor a boat video. So this is what they've agreed to do. I'm going to show you guys this bike in 1 minute, and then if you want to learn more about it, you can click up here. I did a whole review. I took it to single track, took it off a bunch of jumps, and I also figured out how to hack the computer to give you extra speed. This thing is pretty freaking fun. I can't believe you can get this for around $1,000 these days. So this has a 750 watt rear motor, a 48 volt lithium ion battery, a throttle here, and it has pedal assist, so when you pedal it zooms you around. You can get this thing up to 26 miles an hour with a fresh battery, and I've been having a blast. It's been fun. I've never had an e-bike before, so yeah, check this video out right up here. There's a ton of information, and it's a pretty good time just playing with this thing. So let's get to the rest of the fleet update. This is BackAstro, a 99 Chevy Astro that's been lifted 3 inches, has a ton of mods to it. This thing has been doing great, but the transfer case is going out. It's wailing on the highway. It's still working, but it's so loud that it's giving me a headache whenever I drive this thing. I have to figure out if I'm going to be putting in another all-wheel drive transfer case or look into upgrading to the NP, whatever it is, that is from the Jimmy and Blazer, which would give me push-button 4 high, 4 low, and 2-wheel drive, which would be great on the highway. My main boat, Danger Zone, this is a 78 Sleekcraft Aristocrat tunnel. That thing's been rock solid. It's my 13th year with it, having tons of fun. Now, the one that most people are looking forward to updates on, the SST, unfortunately, I have not made a lot of progress on it. I've been running into some roadblocks. I cannot figure out how to get the clear coat off the gel. It has been obnoxious. I don't have an interior for it because my upholstery guy who said he was working on it has done nothing. And then I've got some jack plate issues that we'll touch on in a second. All right, the 77 911S has been working great. I do have a little bit of a high idle, but I put over 3,000 miles on it this year. And now I'm on 6 cylinders because initially when I put this thing together, I was only running on 5. And if you want to see more on that, click up here. It now pulls even harder and sounds crazier. Next to the 911, we have Project BackAstro. This is the dumbest project I've ever tackled. This is half van, half boat trailer, and all stupid. And what we are doing here is sculpting the front end out of pink foam. Eventually we're going to be covering this with epoxy and fiberglass cloth and trying to finish this to kind of an automotive standard. We have an air conditioner up front here. The inside's going to be built out as a camper and a utility trailer because this thing is aerodynamic as hell when you are pulling it behind an Astro because it's the same size. Out here we have the Beetle, but yeah, we don't want to talk about that because what's behind it? This is the guest house for the off-grid land in Colorado. This is a 2006 Chalet A-frame pop-up camper, and unlike most pop-up campers, she's a hard shell. I'll show you guys a little sneak peek. It's got a bed, a little kitchenette, and a little desk. So if some of my friends come out west, they now have a place to stay. It's got heat. This thing has been cool. It needs a little bit of work, but really happy with that addition. And then over here, what's that? Went to Cedarburg, Wisconsin, and bought an outboard made in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. Let's cut to that real quick. I am in Cedarburg buying a Mercury made in Cedarburg from Ron. So, Ron, what can you tell me about this? I forget. Where'd you get it?
This, bought it in Cedarburg. It was on an old Starcraft aluminum 14-foot boat. First pull starts almost every time that we used it. So, runs great. The only thing changed on it was the handle on top. So
it's like a...
Yeah, it's like a composite. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
Runs good.
Well, we're going to use some parts to get the hydroplane working. So
good.
I'll take it.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Behind me, we have the 90 Civic Si project. It does need some tie rod ends, but I put a bike rack on it, and I've been using this for mountain biking and road biking, and I love this car. These things, ultimate daily. Like if I win the lottery, I'm still going to have one of these for a daily driver. Phenomenal car. We are building an engine for that thing. We have a B16 A2 right here. I did just pick up a DC Sports header, and then we have tons and tons and tons of parts piling up for this thing. I just got the head back from the machine shop. That thing has had a valve job and been skimmed, and I told him to port it a little bit. I just said, do whatever you think is going to make this thing run sweet. New valve guides, ready to go. So that's getting there. And then behind me we have the 73 Jaguar XJ6 project. Now this has been holding up a lot of the progress on my boat builds, but I want this thing to be on the road this summer as soon as possible. This is a really cool car. It is a low mileage California car, still got the Cali plates. It's manual swapped and it has triple carbs and an intake off of an E-Type. So mechanically, this is an E-Type with 4 doors. And I did not know what I was getting myself into when I got this thing. I figured, you know what? I heard it run on starting fluid. I'll just rebuild the carbs, throw in a new fuel filter, and we should be good to go. The thing that I didn't know is how hard it was going to be to get the intake and the carbs off this engine. I don't want to say how many hours I have into this, over 8, just trying to get the intake and carbs off, but it's like working blind. You can't see what you're doing. You ever see those videos where people are like helping a cow give birth and they have their whole forearm up inside the cow? That's what it felt like working on this engine. I couldn't see what I was doing, and I was just in there wiggling things around, trying to make it happen. It was awful. But it is finally off the car. This is the triple carb setup and intake off of an E-Type. And I don't know anything about SU carbs. They're side draft, goofy British things. But you know what? If you're not learning, you're dying. So we've got a rebuild kit. We got this one stripped, cleaned up. I'm going to polish a couple things. We're going to put this back together. And then we're going to do it 2 more times on the other carbs and hopefully get this thing running. I'm excited about this car now. For a while, it had broken me, and I was ready to give up and just sell it, but now I'm back on track. What's this? Oh, yeah, that's a new engine for my 1972 BMW Bavaria. If you hadn't seen that video, I picked up a barn find BMW from Kansas that hadn't seen the road since 1981. Tried to get it running, and when I scoped the engine, one of the cylinders looked like the inside of the Titanic. Instead of rebuilding it, this is an M30 out of a 1991 5 Series, so it's fuel injected. Extra ½ liter of displacement, more power, more torque, yeah. And then finally we have the Merc 200 right here. Again, waiting to be put on the SST. Now I mentioned before I had some other things holding me up. This is my jack plate. Now this is an older style CMC jack plate. And I did not look it over when I bought the boat. I just wanted the trailer really for the SST. But this came with it, and this was part of the reason that I thought I was justified in spending the money. The pump does work, but it's out of fluid, which isn't really the big deal. The problem is when you look at the jack plate itself, it works on these rollers, and the upper hole here is all smashed and widened out, and this roller will no longer fit in here tightly. It's going to have play, and I don't want play on a 200 horse outboard. And so I've been looking into trying to maybe machine this and putting in bigger rollers. Then I thought about getting a non-powered CMC jack plate, which might still happen, and then swapping over just the center pieces to try to make a powered jack plate out of a non-powered jack plate. Now I'm reading that most people with SSTs want more setback than whatever this is, 5 inches. So now I'm thinking maybe I want a 10-inch or 12-inch setback on my jack plate. I wanted to bolt this thing to the back of the SST this spring, and I've just been trying to find a deal, and everybody wants like $1,000 for a jack plate, and I don't want to spend $1,000 on a jack plate. So we are trying to find a deal on something that's going to be appropriate for that boat, and then we'll keep moving ahead. So to the boat guys in this channel, I have not mentioned the Ceebee or the Hydroplane. Well, the Ceebee, to be honest, I have not touched that thing either. I've been having too much fun boating this summer. Season is short, and I have a feeling that that thing is going to need to go a lot farther apart before it comes back together. However, if there's enough interest, I may just throw a piece of plywood in it and run it and try to hit 60 miles an hour. Now that it does not have all that waterlogged foam, I do kind of want to get back to that thing this summer because I know it's going to hit 60, and once it's not overheating, pretty sure I can start to crank up that jack plate, plug the upper holes in the water pickup, and probably hit 65 or 70. I saw one guy on the Ceebee forums that he hit 72 with that boat and that engine, which that's moving pretty good. So I would like to drive that thing again this summer. We should make it happen. The Hydroplane, that was the reason for getting that other outboard. If you guys watched the rigging video where I put that little Mercury Lightning on there, I was using some adapters for the throttle, and I was trying to bend one of the advance arms out of the way. and it wound up snapping. So I got that whole extra outboard for $45 in Cedarburg, made in Cedarburg. Thing has been around for 70 some years and it's still in the same town. It's crazy to me. Anyway, we got some parts for my race motor and we picked up a whole trailer for that boat. It's a 1950s teeny with fender covers and everything, and I just need to chop it up and get that thing to fit the hydroplane. So that's the update on most of the fleet. I'm sure I'm forgetting some cars or something, but I do want to say that when we had the boat cover giveaway last time, it did not work. Whatever website I picked out to pick a comment winner, it just came up with a bogus comment that didn't exist. I don't really understand the point of that, but I did try it with a few other websites, and none of them worked. They all picked bogus comments that didn't exist. Found one website which did work. I don't know which one it was at this point, but the winner for the boat cover contest giveaway from Empire is Nella Jameston 2465. I left a comment below your comment in that video. Reach out to me. You can click the About page. You can email me. But I'm going to have you confirm that that's your comment by editing your comment so I know it's you, because there's a lot of people that want a free boat cover made in America. So Nella Jameston 2465, it's your lucky day. Your Hydrostream Ventura is getting a new boat cover courtesy of Empire. Lastly, I just want to talk about the fact that the channel has split into marine and not marine content. Is this working for you guys? I don't know if it's working. I mean, I can't really understand what's going on with YouTube's algorithms, but from what I understood, that since the most of my subscribers are here for the boat content, if I post something on off-grid land or my school bus or something that's not marine related, most of the subscribers don't click it. Therefore, it gets shown to fewer people and it just sort of kills the video. And the really shitty thing is that if I do that a few times and I release like a Jag video and then a mountain biking video and then a Honda video and you boat guys don't click on it, then when I do release a boat video, YouTube's not smart enough to be like, hey, this is what you wanted, here you go. So because you skipped the previous 3 videos and didn't click on them, it's not going to show you the boat videos. So what happened in the past few years is I start doing boat videos after doing snowmobile content because the lakes are frozen. And halfway through the season or towards the end of the season, I get comments that are like, oh, I didn't know you guys are doing boat stuff again. It's because they scrolled past the snowmobile stuff. The algorithm no longer suggested it to them. So the decision was made last Thanksgiving to basically split the channel into Advanced Garage, which is everything else other than boats, and Advanced, which is, just the boat stuff. You think it's working? Let me know in the comments. I don't really have any ideas. It's impossible to try to figure out what the algorithm is going to suggest. One more thing, super important, dudes. August 11th, 12th, and 13th in Sheboygan is going to be the coolest boat race in the Midwest. It's called the Mercury Midwest Challenge. There's going to be offshore boats, there's going to be super cats, there's going to be the H2O F1 guys. People are coming from all over the world and descending on the little town of Sheboygan, don't you know, dear A? And they're going to have all these different types of boat racing going on in one event. So if you miss this, you are really messing up, dudes, because I've never seen this happen before in my life. I don't know if it's going to ever happen again, but get your asses to Sheboygan for this Mercury Midwest Challenge. I've never seen most of the boats in these classes race before, so I'm really excited about that. Friday night, there's going to be a block party with all the boats on the streets, and it's just going to be, crazy. So I'm going to put a link down below. Here's the website. You need to check it out. It's going to be awesome. Hope to see you guys there. All right? Until next time, dudes, have a good one.